Hello and welcome back to Much Ado About Rugby, where we talk about everything rugby. We are doing another recorded video as well as audio today. So if you're watching on YouTube, welcome to our beautiful faces. Today we have a couple of things to run through. Specifically, we have a post from Ultimate Rugby, which is going to be very interesting to talk about. Also, we have news on the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup matches, which are taking place tomorrow at the time of recording. So it's going to be interesting to talk through them. I think we will start off by saying, though, that we are sorry it's been a bit of a delay between now and the previous episode. We were, in fact, on holiday in Wales, and we had a lovely time. Social distance, of course, from all the locals there. So, yeah, we had a lovely time, and we're back now, so that's all that matters. All right, so shall we kick things off with the Ultimate Rugby post? Maxin.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, no, I was just flicking through Ultimate Rugby, as you do. And found an extremely interesting post, fairly interesting post. Start one, bench one, drop one. It's New Zealand rugby players, specifically full-backs, I assume, or back three. And we're going to decide who our start one, bench one, drop one is, and then do a few of our own as well for a bit of fun as well. So let's do the Ultimate Rugby one first. So Will Jordan, Geordie Barrett, Damien McKenzie. Start one, bench one, drop one. What are our thoughts?
Start Geordie.
Start Geordie.
Yeah. Bench Jill Warden. Drop Damien McKenzie.
I just think you have to take the most informed player from the most informed club. So why would you not start Will Jordan? He's absolutely world class already, and he hasn't even played for the All Blacks there. Yeah, he's insane. He's incredibly good.
Geordie's got that kicking ability, mate.
Has Damien McKenzie been? Was he playing badly, or was he just playing in a terrible Chiefs team?
Terrible. No, Damien McKenzie played well.
Okay, well he played well, but Jill Warden was probably like. Jill Warden.
Way better.
Say it so casually. Yeah, he was probably like the top performer in the whole of Super Rugby, but he still can't start. He still can't start though, really, can he?
Why not?
Well, because he doesn't have the experience.
Based on current form, though, are we basing this on current form, or are we basing this on the?
We're basing this on the actual.
Who would you pick?
Who would you actually pick for the All Blacks to like?
Who'd I actually pick?
Yeah.
Well, I would actually pick Will Jordan. Sorry.
Oh.
It's not. I really don't think it's that controversial. What that reaction? I really don't think it's that bad because honestly, like he is like you just said it, the top performing fullback / winger of the Super Rugby. He got the most meters, I'm pretty sure, and scored a ton of tries on top of that. So how can you not take him based on current form, which is usually what the All Blacks is picked on anyway? So for example, Rieko Ioane played ridiculously well in his first few games for the Blues when he first started out his professional career, and immediately got selected for the All Blacks and pretty much started his first game, I'm pretty sure.
But Ed, I think the difference between Rieko Ioane and Jill Warden is Rieko Ioane had already played like a large amount of international rugby in sevens. Jill Warden, he has he ever played for the All Blacks? No.
Yeah, he's played for like under 21s.
Yeah, under 21s, but like it's different, right?
Doesn't matter. You're literally playing with half the All Black squad in the Crusaders.
Yeah, true. I think he could start as well because there's no crowds as well. He probably won't even get flustered with it if he would. I think I would actually I'd personally pick Geordie and bench Jill Warden.
Geordie's class.
Yeah, I think Geordie was probably he was so sick. Like, he was tearing it up. Everyone's like, yeah, Geordie's better than Bowden now. Geordie's way better. All right, so are we therefore agreed on our Geordie is our star?
No, because the only reason I don't like Geordie is because Mal likes him so much, and you like him so much. Yeah, I just want to spite you guys. But mate, I think yeah. Legs. No, genuinely, I think we can safely say that you drop Damien McKenzie I think it's to do with club performance as a whole or team performance as a whole, and because the Chiefs haven't been performing that well, it doesn't mean that Damien McKenzie shouldn't still make the All Blacks squad. But if I'm picking my match day squad, like do I pick the guy that's played for the Crusaders who have absolutely torn it up, and the guy that played for the Canes who ended up having a really good vein of form towards the end of the Super Rugby Aotearoa, or do I pick the guy who played for the team that didn't win a match?
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty good problem to have, right? Like, imagine you're dropping Damien McKenzie. It's actually quite outrageous.
Yeah, I know. Well, England have kind of had the same problem, don't they, with their wing and fullback situations, really, don't they?
True. Well, that leads on nicely, actually, to our own. Well, let's just finalise. Based on our vote, we've got Geordie starting and Jill Warden on the bench. So let's leave it at that, Ed. So we've made our own. I think they're both English Premiership ones. Our own English Premiership start one, bench one, drop ones. Now, first one is mine, and it's based on form. Back three players, so that's wingers and fullbacks. Not necessarily English, as you'll see. So my start one, bench one, drop one is first, the very own, much to about rugby's first special guest, Roy McConaughey. Wow!
Rosie!
Rosie! I'm
Might as well
writing
just
him
stop
down
it
in
there.
massive letters on my page.
Rosie!
Mr. Roy McConaughey, who, as we all know, is absolutely tearing it up in the
I start Rosie.
at the moment.
I start him.
Okay.
Yeah, I start Rosie, drop everyone else. The whole
I haven't
pitch.
even said the rest of the people. Okay, right. Let's give it a fair shout. So second, we have Ollie Thorley, also rich vein of form, playing fantastically well. Don't get triggered. Third, we've got Mr. Lou Rees-Zammit.
Too boring, gloss.
I thought we agreed not to talk about him since he wouldn't come on the podcast.
He's a massive douches.
We messaged him twice, and he still wouldn't come on. He was
And
literally
I met him
like,
in person.
he was
And I asked him
literally,
in person.
yeah, you literally asked him in person, and literally every now and again you just see his stories on Instagram and stuff, and he's like playing Warzone or something.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some downtime, but do you really think having a conversation with us is really that work? Is it work? Having a
Mate,
conversation with us?
massively improved
God
his
knows.
what's this called? His
Interview skills.
yeah. Like he needs a
I've never seen him in an interview, to be fair, but he was on a pod the other day, wasn't he? Or something or other with someone. Because Mal, you highlighted it that he actually went on a different podcast with was it Shane Williams? Yeah, and we were like, why would he choose that over us?
yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Beast.
Surely
It just
not.
does not make sense to
We're
me.
definitely more famous than Shane Williams. Anyhow, all right. So are we starting Rosie in all seriousness?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in all seriousness.
I'd actually start Rosie. Like, not even like he's actually the best player there.
Okay.
He is the
Mate,
most
he
informed
bounced
winger.
to a Langy
He's the most
from
informed.
behind.
Yeah, he's the most informed winger in the
Tried to
Premiership.
jump on his back, like, bounced off him. Like, whoa.
From behind.
Yeah, literally, he was running away from him, still bounced him. How is that even possible? How is that actually even possible?
Because of the bees, the best winger in the Prem. That's why.
No, we've spoken about Rory before. Mr. McConaughey has been the informed winger in the Premiership now for the last since
weeks.
lockdown.
Yeah.
And he's scoring tries for fun. I'm pretty sure he scored as many, if not more, tries than he has played games.
Yeah,
which
he's got
is incredible.
six tries in 5 games, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
he's
sure.
doing incredible.
Comparing, but the point is about this game that we're playing now is that you have to compare him to the other two players. So when you look at Louis Zammit, well, he's definitely dropped because he didn't come on the pod. But at the same time, Louis Zammit had a really good piece of form before lockdown, but hasn't really performed. He scored a try the other day, didn't he? But he hasn't really properly performed. I think maybe moving to fullback might have affected him a little bit. Maybe he's not as involved in that try-scoring aspect of the game. Maybe just more of a reliable player at fullback. And Ollie Thorley, he scored a hat-trick the other day, and is obviously still playing really well. And I've said before, he does look very dangerous with ball in hand, but then, it's just Rosie, isn't it? You take Rosie every day.
I'd start Rosie and bench Rosie.
Well, I don't get how Ollie Thorley is. I don't know why. He's been a form winger in the Prem for a few seasons now, but he just doesn't.
His tries aren't that dank though.
He had a little bit of
he runs them in.
Yeah, but he had a little bit of a look in for England, but nothing. He wasn't like really. He didn't really get primed in the England squad. But then like no one gasses him up that much, although he's a top try scorer in the Prem. But then if you looked at something similar, if something like that happened in Super Rugby, it'd be like instant so much gas, like they're getting in the All Black squad or like they're in the Aussie squad.
Yeah, it's like Shannon Frizzell. He scored a ton of tries and was like the top performing and you guys didn't even choose him as your forward of the year.
But did you get what I
But-
mean? Like, why does that not happen in the Prem?
Because England is more set in stone. Eddie Jones likes the players he likes, and I think some players he's willing to overlook. It's the same with Danny Cipriani. He just because obviously Danny Cipriani is a really talented player, and I actually saw a post about him today saying that he played really badly on the weekend. Obviously, Quinn's won, and Danny Cipriani basically had pretty shocking game. Chucked a couple of missed passes that went straight into Quinn's hands, and Joe Marchant ran them in. But I just think Eddie Jones is kind of different. Like, he doesn't really properly give players that chance unless they are really, really, truly proving themselves. So, for example, Tom Curry, he really has proved himself as one of the top players in the Premiership, and he was before he even joined the England squad. Everyone was gassing out the Curry brothers, and
But
therefore
he was. I'd actually argue that he wasn't.
Really.
Yeah. Like, he didn't play like an enormous amount of Sale, and Sale before he got into England squad were not a very good side at all. Like, even though they had Faf and people, they were playing terrible.
Okay. Well, let me phrase it differently then. Eddie Jones has his eye on some players for a long time, and it's the same with someone like Marcus Smith. Eddie Jones will be constantly watching Marcus Smith, and not because Marcus Smith. Apparently, Eddie Jones was like watching him when he was at schoolboy level. Like, it just had his eye on him. So I think Eddie Jones has that kind of players in mind the whole time, but doesn't necessarily look as closely at the players that are actually hitting really good veins of form. Maybe it's like this idea that he thinks that they're just in a good vein of form and it will come and it will pass, rather than these players are actually good or setting a standard the whole time, like the Farrells, like the Vunipolas, and they're solidly really, really good. And obviously they're much more experienced players than the players that we're talking about. Which many more England caps than like Ollie Thorley will ever see. I mean, Ollie Thorley hasn't even got one yet, so it's kind of different in that sense. But I still think I go back to what I was saying before about Rozzy a few episodes back about Rozzy and Ollie Thorley. I was literally saying that I was worried that because England had an injury to Jack Noel during the World Cup, I was worried that Rory wouldn't get in because of someone like Ollie Thorley. And do you not think that it was kind of a bit nip and tuck between them as to who was going to get that place in the squad? And it was almost like a bit of a lottery as to the winger that was going to get chosen.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Like, Ollie Thorley was at that stage, he was probably he was in better form than Rozzy. So it clearly wasn't based on
style
form.
of play. I reckon Eddie Jones probably has like a vision of what he wants the England side to play like. And some players probably just don't fit that. Probably like Cipriani and stuff who just don't get picked. Probably just like something to do like that. He has a style that he likes to play, or he wants the teams to play. And obviously, if a player doesn't fit that mold, it's probably because obviously if they're not fitting the mold, then the team's not going to gel together that well. So he's probably got a vision in mind, and some players make it and some players don't.
But I don't get what's wrong with Ollie Thorley. Like,
there's nothing wrong with him.
Like versus Johnny May. Like, him and Johnny May are really, really similar. Like,
I don't think so at all.
Not
I think Ollie Thorley's like a Brutus. He boshes people and stuff, and Johnny May's just a gas man.
He's not that big.
Have you seen him play? Have you ever seen him play?
Yes, I've seen him play loads and loads of times. He's absolutely rapid.
I don't get triggered, mate.
No,
fine. Yeah. He's rapid, but he's still like much bulkier than Johnny May, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay, fine. They're not the exact same dimensions, but what I'm saying is he clearly scores more tries than Johnny May for starters. I'm not triggered. I'm just trying to press my point.
All right, continue then. We're listening.
Mate, it's fine. Don't worry. We'll just move on.
No, I'm interested. I'm actually interested. So they're similar players.
I'm just saying, like, Ollie Thorley, he scores more tries than Johnny May. He's probably better defensively. As you say, Ed, he's bigger than Johnny May. Defensively, he's probably better. He's not that much worse.
I disagree. Johnny May's really good defensively.
Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't compare him to Johnny May because you absolutely bum Johnny May.
He is one of the best wingers in the world.
But I'm saying, okay, for example, like, I don't know, like, he's probably a better player than Rozzy all round. Like,
Thorley.
Yes, mate. He's been tearing up on the Prem for literally 3 seasons in a row.
Roz has been tearing up for 2 seasons in a row.
But he didn't even tear it up last season.
No, he
Played really
didn't.
well.
All I'm saying is I don't understand. I'd be really intrigued to know why Ollie Thorley doesn't get
Rozzy, what Rozzy has that I think Thorley doesn't is Rozzy can beat players one-on-one better than Thorley. 100%.
Correct.
It's true. It's true.
No, that is
I think it's.
100%.
I think Thorley has a tendency to just run head on and try and bounce people essentially, which is why I've got this idea in my brain that he's bulkier and he's big and he tries to run at people. Whereas Rozzy, he's not as big. I mean, Rozzy's still a big guy. Let's not get it wrong, but he probably wouldn't try and do that. Like he can beat someone on the outside. He's got a little bit more of a step on him probably than Thorley does. Do you not think?
Ridiculously good
maybe.
handle.
I don't know though. I guess Thorley's probably bigger, but like even so, I just think all round play, like based on form over the last 3 years, like Ed, you said yourself, like Eddie Jones probably looks for people with consistent form, while Ollie Thorley's probably one of the most consistently formed wingers in the Prem over the last 5 years. So like it's kind of like that's why it just confuses me so much as to why they wouldn't pick someone like that because he's clearly so solid.
Okay.
Other
But
than the
also
fact-
Probably just doesn't like it.
Other than the fact that Gloucester clearly like haven't like actually won stuff, that's the only reason I could think. Like,
well, I've got another point that I could make, which is that England have a plethora of other proven international class wingers, such as Jack Noel, Anthony Watson, Elliot Daly sometimes plays on the wing. You've got a horrendous amount of talent in that one position. And in order for, do you really think Ollie Thorley's going to, would you take Ollie Thorley over any of them?
Stand out. He
not
really
out of
doesn't
them,
stand
but
out.
over, for example, Joe Cocker-Singer. When Joe Cocker-Singer was first picked, he basically hardly played in the Prem.
Yeah,
and
but he's
then
mental. He's a better player. He's just a better player than Ollie Thorley.
But like if Joe Cocker-Singer
And then he made the step up. He made the step up to the England team, and he scored a try or whatever.
in that one game, right? But like what I'm saying is, if he'd like, you could say the same thing that you're saying about Ollie Thorley about loads of players if they hadn't been selected for England. For example, like if Johnny May hadn't never been selected for England, you could still say like, oh, he doesn't fit the mold. He's not big enough. Like,
Okay.
This,
Well,
not that.
yeah. I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do understand what you mean. But the thing is that those players do play for England, and they do have that pedigree, and they've proven themselves to be consistent on an international stage. Maybe Eddie Jones. Look, we're not here to tell Eddie Jones who he can and can't pick.
Yeah, we are.
He picks who he wants. But like,
He has to pick.
you know, we love it that he picks Roger over Ollie Thorley. But at the end of the day, obviously, he just doesn't see Thorley in his plans for the England squad, which is fine by me because we have so many other good wingers that it doesn't really matter, Roser included.
Yeah, obviously it's fine, but it's just like I'm just interested. I'd want to know why he's selecting those people.
Why did he select? Why did he select Roser?
Message him and ask Mackie.
Like, if he doesn't select Rozzy now, it's stupid. Because like he selected Rozzy when Rozzy basically hardly played at all.
He loves Rozzy, mate.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Anyhow, should we move on to your
yeah,
star one?
cheese or weed.
Yeah, I've got one. It's a little bit more. I think it could be even closer than your one. So obviously we said that we weren't doing just English people. So I've got 2 Englishmen and another bloke. So I've got Jack Willis from Wasps, Ben Earl from Bristol, and Jake Pelledri from Gloucester. What do we think of that? Start one, bench one, drop one.
Mal, do you want to go first?
Start Jack Willis because he is dank. He is so dank. He is so dank.
I think we could genuinely all say a complete different 3 here.
You would not.
Jack Willis is sick, mate. He is
over
fucking
Ben
sick.
Earl.
Mate, he's sick. Jack Willis is sick. Depends what. If you want to try scoring back row, then yeah, Ben Earl. But if you want someone who's going to get a shit ton of turnovers,
yeah, which
you know
Ben
does. No, but nowhere.
We get some
near
stats
as
on
much
that,
as-
please. I'd love some stats on that.
Jack Willis, leading turnover 42, second best. Some dweeb 19.
So Jack Willis has 41.
That's actually true.
Blair Cowan
check the stat.
I'm telling you, Jack Willis has 41. Blair Cowan has 19. Ben Earl has 18.
Mate, that's literally over double. He's twice as good.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. That is quite a lot.
Horrendous.
It is quite a lot. But that being said, I think
That's
Benno,
outrageous, mate.
I think Benno all
That's-
round is better.
Yeah, that's what I say. It depends what kind of back row player you want.
I'm talking about an all-round complete back row player.
Yeah, I
100%.
I'd probably pick Bernal. Yeah, a bit Bernal then. You're talking about an all-rounder,
But also, it's not just about like, well, you've got when you look at stats like turnovers, for example, it's like Jack Willis will be told to go for a shit ton of turnovers, and it also depends on like what your team's like tactics are. For example, for example that Jack Willis is basically the only one in that Wasp back row that makes turnovers realistically.
Who else do they have? They play Brad Shields and the other Willis, Marcus. Is it Marcus Willis?
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
so. And also, is it like Nizam Carr as well?
Is he still there? I haven't seen him play in ages. To be fair, I don't know. He's quite good though. He's quite good.
Yeah, but like I agree. Obviously, it's so impressive that, but like you've got to also consider other things as well. I mean, to be fair, he's also scored quite a few tries. But to start, and also if I was selecting an international side, I'd definitely select Benno. I'd even consider Jake Pellegrini, to be honest. Like I was watching the highlights of him against Quins this weekend. Obviously they lost, but
he's standout.
He was incredible. It just the highlights. It was like every single highlight was Pellegrini, like literally like broke the line. Maybe Quins.
So who would you pick, Mackie?
Who would I pick? So I would. I think I'd.
Oh, it's so tough, isn't it? It's tough.
Yeah, I'd start Benno, and I would bench Pellegrini.
Oh. The thing is, the amount that I'm having to think about this is actually stupid. I'm really, really struggling. Not gonna lie. I mean, I designed this one, and I can't even choose between them. Mal, what are you going for? So we've got Mackie.
Start Jack Willis.
You're saying Ben.
Burl and drop Pellegrini.
Should I go for a start Jake Pellegrini?
Drop Burl. No, you gotta bench. Burl has to be in there. Come on, he's the best out of those three. Let's be honest.
The thing is,
let's be real.
Wait, what? So Mackie, you benched Jake.
Yeah, because of his impact, I think. Like, I feel like
Mal, you started Jack.
Yeah.
You started Jack, benched Ben.
No, because Ben is the most complete back row out of those three. Jake Pellegrini's more like his impact is insane. Like he's an absolute mutant. Also for the fact that he's more of an 8 than the other two.
I'm gonna start Ben.
Yeah, Jack Willis is not an 8.
Yes, Cage. Yes, Ed.
I'm gonna bench Jack because I like English people.
Okay.
And I'm gonna drop Jake.
Cheeseoid started Burl.
Oh, fair.
Dropping Jake.
I also like the fact that he already plays for England, and I think he's proven already.
Yeah.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason. It's the same reason why I would go for Rosa over Thorley.
Do you want to know the annoying thing about Jake Pellegrini is he's actually English.
Yeah, but he's Italian heritage, isn't he?
So annoying. Have you had it?
Would he even? Okay, so when I was writing this list of 3, I thought about the current England back row, and I thought about Tom Curry and what's his face, Sam Underhill. Underskink. How close are these guys to those two?
Tom Curry, not at all.
He's not.
Curry's, dang.
Oh, I was about to say, because I phrased the question like, how close are these guys? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're not close. They're Tom Curry's not close at all.
They're not. Yeah, Tom Curry. You said Tom Curry's not close, but
yeah,
he's far beyond. He's far beyond.
Yeah, I was getting confused there. Sorry.
I've actually not been impressed at all about how Tom Curry's been playing the Prem, if I'm perfectly honest. That being said, I do think he's better than these guys. I think Ben Earl's closest behind him. But I worry for Ben Earl, like his England career in the next like 3 or 4 years, just purely based on Tom Curry, because like Underhill, I don't know. Tom Curry's also. I didn't realize how big Tom Curry was. He's an absolute beast. He's
massive.
He's a unit. I don't know. I think Benel's not too far off, but like Pellegrini and Jack Willis, I feel like are quite a while away from Tom Curry in particular. Sam Underhill, I think it's a different story. I'd put Benno on par with Sam Underhill. Obviously, so different. And I
Not
feel like it's different. It's different. Like if you're playing Tom Curry, you're probably not going to play Benno with him, just because they're like not too dissimilar players. Like Tom Curry, he obviously does a lot of like ball carrying stuff. But yeah, what Ed?
yeah. I just wanted to say that Tom Curry's now playing 8.
No, he's not.
Mate, he's
Tom
a
Curry's
unit.
not an eight.
He's now playing
actually-
8, so you can actually
What,
have
for sale?
no. Wait, Tom Curry's playing 8 for England.
Yeah, for England, mate.
What about
So
Billy
so
V?
what's your England back row?
Oh, my England back row is
Not Tom Curry at 8?
England back row is Tom Curry, Underhill, and Vunipola.
Yeah, but let's say Vunipola's injured.
Vunipola's injured, then it's
Burl at 8.
same, but Nathan Hughes.
Sam Simmons?
Really?
Yeah, same with Nathan Hughes.
I put Burl at 8.
Mackie, you go like for like. I agree with you, Mackie. I don't think you can have Burl starting with Tom Curry. Or if you want to start Tom Curry at flanker with Billy V at 8, then you can't really have anyone other than Sam Underhill, because Sam Underhill provides such strength defensively. And the thing about someone like Burr when he's playing with someone like Tom is that they're both very attacking players. I mean, Tom Curry obviously does make a lot of tackles, but he's such a strong carrier as well.
Yeah.
So I think they're not like, that's not a like for like swap. I think I prefer Mark Wilson.
Shut up, mate. Just shut up. Just shut up.
He played so well in both the build up to the World Cup and at the World Cup. He's really good. He's good. I mean, yeah, he might not be up there at the moment, but I think he's also proven himself.
My issue with Billy Vunipola, if he wasn't playing, is I don't know. Whenever I see England play without Billy Vunipola, I actually just feel like ball carrying wise, I'm missing something quite big. Well, literally very big in Billy Vunipola. And I feel like unless you have that big ball carrying 8, then given the rest of England's pack, and given the fact that the back row, apart from Tom Curry, who's good ball carrier, but he more so like hits gaps than actually like crashes up like Billy Vunipola does. With the rest of the pack, you don't really have enough ball carrying ability. I feel like we've seen that a fair amount when Billy Vunipola hasn't been there. Tried to replace it with Nathan Hughes. Obviously, I don't think he's as good a ball carrier as Billy Vunipola. So we kind of lost it. I remember the game against South Africa where Nathan Hughes got dumb tackle by Faf. It's the most embarrassing moment. Do you remember that? Like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't think you could start Burl, Curry, and Underhill. There's not enough bulk there, is there really?
Right. Yeah, I think so. Based on what we've said, I think we're going with start Ben. Second is.
What did you say, Ed? You said drop.
We're going with mine because that's the most common. So because we've got 2 Jake Pelletris at the bottom, and then 2 Ben Earls at the top. So we have to start Ben Earls and we have to drop Jake Pelletri and put Jack Willis on the bench.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
I think that's a cool medium between us all because we did all go for different ones, which is interesting. But yeah, I think an interesting thing to consider when you look at the talent in the Premiership and also in the Super Rugby, the amount of depth that sides like England and New Zealand have in their leagues, and it's just interesting, isn't it? But moving on swiftly, we have some Champions Cup matches inbound tomorrow, like I said, and we have some matches to comment on, some quarterfinal matches. Now, I need to find the lineups from my phone.
Let's start with Clermont Racing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pick who we think our player to watch is in each game, and also give who we think is gonna win each game and why. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite good. I've got the teams up here as well.
Cool.
I'm ready.
All right, let's start with Clermont and Racing.
Clermont Racing. Okay, so
which
This
is
is
tomorrow.
happening tomorrow at the Stade Marcel Michelin, and two
You French?
giants of. I am actually, yeah. Fluent.
Jeez, Lord.
Yeah. So we've got two giants of Europe, obviously here. Which one of these teams hasn't won a Champions Cup again? Is it Racing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Racing. They're the chokers.
Nah, surely.
No, they like losing the final every time. I swear.
Joke.
I thought it was Clermont.
I don't know.
Joke.
I'm pretty sure Racing have lost in the final like a million times or something stupid. When we had
Maybe.
that episode, do you remember? It's like,
Yeah.
they've got to the final like 20 times and never won it. I think it was Racing.
Yeah, but it was either one of these two teams. So
Okay.
Probably find
Basically,
out.
they're both massive chokers.
okay, yeah. So what we're gonna do with this little review, I guess, or preview, I should say, of this round of the quarterfinal round of the Champions Cup is we're gonna go through each teams, picking out some individuals from each of the teams that we think are ones to watch, and then naming one player from either side over the top of them that we will name as our one to watch for the weekend. So, without further ado, let's start off with Clermont individually. Not my French accent there, boys.
Yeah, you are.
So we have quite a few French internationals, obviously. Quite a few people who we will know. A couple, maybe mainly in the front row that we don't, and maybe in the back row. They have the Japanese 15, Kotaro Matsushima.
Has he been playing well?
We can't really
Sure.
tell, can we? Because
I mean, we're not
don't
very good
really-
at French rugby, are we?
Yeah, we're absolutely shitting.
But I mean, in general, like, so just to give a quick overview of the French league, only been 2 games played so far. Racing and Pau are unbeaten. Not entirely sure who they've
Dear.
played. Clermont have won 1, lost 1. Toulouse have won 1, lost 1. Brive have won 1, lost 1. Toulon have won 1, lost 1. And then the rest of them.
good league, isn't it?
lost.
Maybe we should watch more of the
That's so
French league.
interesting.
We should. We so should.
It is Clermont who are the chokers. They what's it called
Oh, is
1-2 at the lot, and they come runners up 12 times.
Okay, so people to watch in this. I personally would say, watch out for Matsushima, the fullback, because he was
No,
good at
you
the
can
work.
only
The only
pick one
time.
player, Ed.
You can only pick one, Ed.
No, we can go through some of the players that we
No,
think, and then we
you
can pick
no,
one.
You can only pick one, Ed, mate.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to go with Damien Pernod then, because he's
fair.
absolutely well. I think he's already world class, one of the best wingers in the world.
He's my one to watch.
Reminds me of me, really.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Although
cheese,
I
Ed.
was
I'm going.
just looking at. Sorry, go on, Mal.
I was just gonna say I'm going for Finn Russell.
Well, that's the wrong team.
No, we're talking about Clermont first.
Oh right. Oh, I thought we were saying over the whole game.
Nah, mate, I'm going for Owen Farrell.
So we put players to watch on each team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Matt, who's your one to watch for Clermont?
I'm just gonna go for Sitaleki Timani. No, I'm joking.
Sitaleki
go ahead.
Timani. Right.
Yeah.
So the second row, Mal, you really do like your second rows, don't you? You feel like you just want to be back there.
Oh no.
That's hilarious.
No, I'll go for Wesley Fofana. He's just
Wesley Fofana. I'm saying
Really
Damien
is.
Penaud. Damien Penaud, I think, is our one to watch for Clermont.
100%.
Although, can I just pick out something very interesting on Clermont? So I was just having a quick browse at their fixtures so far. They actually beat Toulouse 33-30.
It's a good game.
Storming game. It looked brilliant. Lopez and Fofana both scored. And then they went and lost to Bayonne like the week later. Bayonne?
Mate, the French rugby doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any
This
sense.
is literally like the epitome of like the France national team. Like you beat the best team and then you lose to like one of the worst teams the week after, which does not make sense whatsoever. They literally had their
Maybe they're playing like some of the English teams are doing, like
No,
a
they
weak
weren't.
team, strong
They
team.
weren't, mate. They had Camille Lopez, Fofana, Penaud. They had Tim Nanai-Williams playing.
Tim Nanai Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. He's one of my favourite all-time players.
He's my
Him
player to
for
watch.
the Chiefs in like 2012, 2013 was peak rugby.
Yeah, shame he's not playing this weekend. But
Yeah, it is a shame.
you know who else they've got? Who I'd actually like to pick out.
Go
They
on.
have Peter Beetham on the bench.
Oh, please be quiet. He's not even good, mate.
Oh, he's
Is he
incredible.
the Australian guy?
Yeah,
No.
he used to play for Mal. Do you remember? He used to play for the Waratahs
Yeah, yeah.
when they won the Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Peter Beetham. I thought. Well, I'm confused now.
Yeah, who do you think he is?
Oh,
Because
I
he
thought-
used to play for Leicester.
Yeah. That's who I thought it was. Yeah. Yeah, mate. I remember watching him for Leicester. Leicester. He's mate. He's sick.
Really tall. He's really tall.
Yeah, he's sick. Anyway, shall we move on to Racing?
Racing, right? There's only one person in this team for me. I mean, you've got the likes of Bernard Leroux, like Wenceslas Lore, Simon Zebo, Vakatawa, Juan Imhoff, but there's only one person I can really see that really does make the game change, and that is Finn Russell.
Yeah, incredible.
PSG.
He will be the one to watch for sure in that game. I think Racing, to be honest with you, just to give my prediction.
Size of that leg.
Did you see? I saw a picture actually of Finn Russell the other day on Facebook, and it was like, "Oh, this proves that you don't need a good body to play rugby." Imagine being Finn Russell, like
So hard.
being a sick rugby player, like having like just a normal body, and someone goes like, "This proves you don't need a good body.
So
Your body is bad." No, he's just repping all of us that don't hit the gym.
Yeah. So who are we
Nice.
calling in this game? I to be honest, I think Racing will absolutely storm it. They beat Lyon a few weeks ago, 27-23. Lyon are a great side.
I don't think it's that simple.
Absolutely destroyed Montpellier, 41-17. Their team is absolute class.
I don't think it's that simple, mate.
Yeah, I
They're
think
in
if
great
Racing,
form.
I think if both teams are playing their absolute best on the day, Racing should win. But I would not be surprised if Clermont came away with a win.
I think it'll be an interesting game, especially given that Clermont are at home. But I still think that Racing will absolutely destroy.
It's French rugby as well, so you can never really predict it, can you?
French
This
rugby
is true.
confuses me.
All right, should we move on and
Yeah, Mal, which game do you want to play? Which game do you want to go for next?
Let's stay on that side of the draw and do Exeter Northampton Saints, because Saints are on the up. So
No, they're not. That's so
Mate,
bad.
Mackie, how long has it been since me and you did a pod together?
A while.
Yeah, I think we've done the last two without each other.
Yeah.
So I think the last time you
shit.
were on, you said Northampton were on the up, and I had to correct you immediately because they're crap. They don't have anyone really that's game changing.
I mean, how many will the Chiefs put on them at Sandy Park? That is the question, isn't it? Really?
40.
A lot, 50
40 at
maybe.
least.
Really? Also,
That's a
Ed,
big call.
Julie note that Naira is on the bench.
Julie note that
He was in
that's an awful decision.
Julie note that you really wanted to put him in our.
Oh, can I just say, Julie note that Alex Mitchell, who you gassed up as the next English scrum half, is on the bench.
Julie note that Northampton's bench is incredible, and why are none of them starting? They got Nick Sikwe on the bench and David Ribban starting.
David Ribbons is good. What are you talking about?
Nick Sikwe's sick.
It's because he's from
Never heard of
Saracens.
Dave
This is
Ribbons.
stupid. Their bench, they're clearly going to sort out their selection. But but seriously, look at that Exeter team. It's absolutely incredible. Like they've got Devoto's on the bench, France on the bench, Ben Moon, who's just like starting prop for England on the bench.
Well, that's a full strength. Is that a full strength side, or would you start Devoto over Ian Whitten?
Nah, Ian Dweeben, they love him at Exeter. I would personally start Devoto. Ian Whitten just looks like a 50-year-old retired bloke.
His hair is like greying and stuff, but we love him. He doesn't look like he really belongs on a rugby pitch.
You're not an Exeter boring side without Ian Whitten in the centres.
Okay, let's just look at that like 13, 14, 15. Henry Slade, Jack Knoll, Stuart Hogg. Yes, Slady.
Slady's our one to watch, surely.
I would also want to say Sam Simmons, to be fair. I reckon he's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
having what? What do you mean? He's actually outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, if he's against Tamara Harrison, so he'll probably play an outrageous game.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you-
he's sick. I've been watching him play recently. He's been mad.
I'll tell you what will happen now.
Boring, but...
Tell you what's going to happen
versus
now.
Fraser Ding Dong.
Mal, who's your standout player for this match?
It'll be Slady, just OP AF, literally so good. But closely followed by Sam Simmons.
And for the Saints?
Saints, yeah. Don't know. Lewis Ludlam.
Not George Furban, England international.
Well, not Lewis Ludlam, England international.
Please. He didn't even come into our conversation earlier. He didn't even come into it.
Oh, dear me.
So average. My one to watch is from the Chiefs is obviously Henry Slade.
Yes, lady.
Yes,
And my one to watch for Northampton is Courtney Laws.
I'd agree with
fair
that.
play, Cheezoid.
Okay, shall we move on to the other side of the draw, and let's finish with the Leinster Sarries game, and let's take on the Toulouse Ulster game, which I'm actually
Good
pinning
shout.
to be one of the best games out of these four, potentially.
I think
Ulster?
Ulster have nothing.
Mate,
Well-
we literally watched that game the other day, and they were really quite bad.
Yeah, but
Or maybe Leinster are really quite good.
Leinster are absolutely incredible, mate.
Yeah, but Ulster are meant to be the second best team in Ireland. They're definitely not nearly on par.
They
No.
scraped past Edinburgh, and Leinster went the whole season without losing a
Unbeaten.
game. Was there really any competition in that match? For the Pro 14
But they should
final?
really be. They got beaten like boys are like 30-something 5, like 30-something 7. They should really be doing a bit better. They just like when we like obviously they got that first try which was decent, and then after that they did nothing.
I
Yeah.
really love this Toulouse side though. Like,
Yeah, mate, it's insane. It's
It's-
absolutely insane.
like such an exciting team. For those of you listening, we've got Antoine Dupont, Romain Ntomac, and of course, my personal one to watch of the round, no other than Cheslin Colby, I think, for me.
Yeah,
Really?
I agree. However, I still think the Centurion, Jerome Kano, he's a beast. He's absolutely massive. He's captain as well, so I think he'll probably be integral to leading them to victory in this game.
Sure.
Yeah,
So,
I think either Colby or Intermac have to be ones to watch really, or Dupont, but any of those three.
I think
That's it.
Colby.
What I find interesting, because obviously it's 11 plays 14, right? So it's Colby v Rob Little, and I'm watching that like the Pro 14 final. I thought Rob Little, who is extremely little, was actually very impressive. So I'll be interested to see how he fares against Cheslin Colby. He's obviously quite like agile as well. So will he get stepped? 100% yes, but he probably stands more of a chance than most people because he's actually quite agile.
Nah, I reckon one to watch John Cooney. Didn't get the start in the final.
You are gassed for John Cooney.
What do you mean? He's pretty
I
good.
agree.
Watching
I
the
agree.
final,
I
like-
think he's.
Watching the final, like, where is John Cooney? Where is he? Why is he not starting?
He's
For God's sake,
good.
John
He's
Cooney.
good.
60 minutes. John Cooney's coming on. John Cooney's coming on. They're going to score.
They did get
Literally
close.
no idea.
They did get close, to be fair. Not close enough, obviously, because they got absolutely trounced.
Nah. My
I
one to
think.
watch. Who's your one to watch, Ed?
Billy
For
Burns.
Billy B in here.
Billy Burns definitely does not chuck inset passes to Robbie
Yeah.
Henshaw.
My
Billy
one to watch for
Baynham.
Ulster is obviously Jacob Stockdale, who I thought was their most impressive player by far in that final. against-
Definitely was not. What are you talking
he
about? He
was.
didn't do anything.
When he comes
I'd
in-
say Stuart McCloskey had a better game than him.
Yeah. Mate, when he Stuart McCloskey, mate, I'm pretty sure you said, why did these people put them in their Pro 14 team?
Yeah,
He
well, I
is
did
so
because
average.
it's just unfair. You can't put the whole Leinster team in.
Yeah, true. All right, but we're pinning Toulouse to walk that, right?
Not war.
Yeah.
Win.
Can I just say how OP their 9-10 combo is? that they have the same 9-10 that they have for France. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah,
Like,
that's an incredible 9-10.
play in and out every week, and then throughout internationals, they must be like brothers.
Yeah,
Must be like best mates.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah,
mentioned
mate, that's
Antoine.
OP.
We haven't mentioned Antoine Dupont at all, which is obviously the best 9 in the world, probably.
But yeah, he's obviously one to watch, but I just think Colby's probably a tiny bit like it's marginal, obviously.
Yeah.
But Colby is obviously just the most exciting player probably on the planet to watch at the moment.
Yeah, but a Toulouse win from us.
A Toulouse win for sure.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
a Toulouse victory. Finally, Leinster Sarries, the big one.
Can we talk? Just first off, why the hell is Tim Swinson starting for Sarries in the second row?
Because Sarries lost Nick Isigdank and what's his name? Just had a massive mind blank.
Bernal.
Yeah, but Bar wasn't 9.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, I don't know. Apart from that, it's a pretty damn strong team.
The hell is
they're playing Alex. Okay, no, it's strong, but at the same time, where the hell is Owen Farrell? Oh, he's banned.
Yeah, he's banned, mate. He's banned AF. He's from obliterating that 18-year-old. Literally killing him.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he's banned AF. To be fair, so Duncan Taylor-Mal, he's the Scottish international. I remember he absolutely he tore it up in the Six Nations a few seasons ago. He's had some injury woes over the last few years. He's been back over the last few weeks, playing decent rugby, not back to his best in my opinion. I honestly, and I'm a Sarries fan, I honestly think we're going to struggle a lot here, given that Leinster team is absolutely unreal. If you look at them, 1 to 15, I think they're all. I think at least 12 out of 15 of them are Ireland internationals, or internationals.
Andrew Porter, it's a beast.
Which is, I think Andrew Porter, doesn't he have the best bench press record out of all professional rugby players ever? Pretty sure.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does.
That really,
who?
But yeah, Andrew Porter.
Andrew Porter for Leinster, number 3.
What?
Yeah, he's an absolute beast. But yeah, let's start with ones to watch for Sarries. Obviously, for me, it's your big man, the Pearl, Marat Itoge.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Alex Good.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, this is why I'm fairly. You might say I'm fairly negative, but I actually just don't rate Alex Good at 10 that much. Like losing.
You were literally gassing him up,
at 15. At 15, he's unreal. Like he's just. But at 10, I don't know. You lose a lot by not having Owen Farrell. An unbelievable amount. That being said, I think what you lose defensively, Brad Barrett is Brad Barrett's. I actually genuinely believe is the best defensive 12 in the Prem. He's actually incredible. I was watching because obviously he was out for one of the games this season, and the difference defensively. So it was Don Morris at 12. And just the defensive organisation when you had him and I think Owen Farrell was playing as well, to be fair, but I think it's mainly him that organises defensively. The difference is absolutely insane. So yeah, no, it'll be an interesting game. Yeah, my one to watch is Itoge. Obviously, big names. You got Billy V, Mako, Elliot Daly as well. So far from a poor Sarries team, but I think that Leinster team's just. Yeah,
unreal.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
mate, I agree with you on Itoge. I think he's just by far the best player there. He's the most impactful player I feel in these big games usually.
I've got an interesting conundrum for you guys. Itoge v James Ryan, who's coming out on top and why?
Itoge.
Depends what you mean coming out on top of what?
In terms of overall, just their overall performance. If the Telegraph were going to do a match rating, who's scoring higher?
Itoge. Norma.
Tedday's dog. Woof, woof.
Right. We're leaving Ed for a bit.
I'd say Itoge, but I don't know, mate. James Ryan's insane, but with I think just with the whole team, I think with Locke, it kind of just also depends on like the rest of the team. Tedday's dog.
Norman.
YouTube
Sorry,
watchers,
guys,
you get
where
the
were we?
privilege.
Where were we?
All the
Um,
YouTube watchers, you get the privilege of seeing Ed's dog.
Yeah.
Ed's
This is
dad,
what, and if you're
Coach
listening
dog.
on Spotify, go and watch on YouTube because you can see Ed's dog Norman.
Oh, look at her.
Aw.
She's so cute.
Okay,
No. I think can I just say my 2 players to watch.
go.
I think 8 for Saracens, Billy Vunipola. I think if he steps up, Saracens have a real chance of winning that game. If they get some go forward with him and then spread it wide to the likes of Elliot Daly, Alex Lewington, and Maitland, they can really cause some damage, which is what Ulster kind of failed to do. I just don't think they had the strength in the pack to really affect Leinster's defence. I think Billy V can suck in so many defenders around him that, really does cause a bit of a dent in the defence. And then, sorry, go for it.
I was just going to say, I just really don't see how Leinster could lose.
What, mate? You kidding? Like, if you,
Mate.
I can definitely see how they could lose, given that England have, I think, 6 or 7 World Cup finalists in their starting 15.
And Leinster are just unreal and gone the
Yeah,
whole season unbeaten.
Ireland have 0 World Cup finalists ever. So
Yeah, ever. So
Oh.
I could easily and it's like, let's be honest, okay, coming from a Sarries fan, but it's Sarries, right? Like
they step up.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, it's obviously slightly understrained compared to last season. But
No,
I remember
Farrell is a killer.
I remember going into the final last season and everyone talking like Mal, who's actually definitely Irish and pretends to be English, and saying, yeah, Leinster are going to walk it. Leinster are going to walk it. And
Leinster's
in they
more
go
Irish
and
team.
Sarries walk it. So, I don't know. I think Leinster, my money would be on Leinster, but I definitely wouldn't say it's as much of a write-off as you say, Mal. Like if you actually look at player to player in that Sarries team, like it's not a huge amount of difference. What I would actually like to flag, and it's a key matchup for me, is Daly and Lama. I think will be a really interesting matchup.
Lama is average.
Mal
No,
is
he's not. He's absolutely unreal.
I've never seen him so
good.
gassed for a player. Llama, oh my god,
Llama's
oh my god.
So
Oh my god, he's so sick. How did I start? Like,
No, I just don't think he's as good as Daly. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I just don't think he is. Have you guys said you're one to watch for Leinster then?
Nah, want to watch Johnny Sexton. Didn't play, rested him in the final Pro 14. Still easily won. Big game for him. Rested.
I think Sarries will just target him like everyone else does.
I would actually say the other way around, Mal, because Johnny Sexton hasn't played in a while.
He's going to turn up, mate.
This is the point. This is the point. I know I've ranted about the Pro 14 a lot, but how can it's just stupid, and it goes through to the international stage how you can rest someone like Johnny Sexton in a Pro 14 final. Does that not say something about the league? Like it's a stupid league. I know it's ranting.
Yeah.
Pointless. They should just.
You'd never see that in a Pro.
Sack it
He
off.
is getting on a bit though. That's probably why.
Come off it. You'd never.
It's quite old now, isn't it?
You'd never see that.
They play week in, week out, don't they?
Johnny Sexton does not play, and this is why as well. You tend to see Ireland that their players are so fresh for the Six Nations because none of them play. Like if you look at the game time,
most of their teams playing here.
Because it's a Champions Cup against Sarries. Obviously, they're going to play.
It's not a big deal.
This is the hardest.
Sarries are championship side.
This is the hardest competition they'll play, and probably the only one they really care about because they know they're going to walk the Pro 14. Like, whereas if you look at English teams, like, okay, for example, perfect comparison is Exeter, right? Like, they are walking the Prem, like you could say, but like they'll still put out their number one team to play. Obviously not recently, but if you look in their semi-final, for example, when they play it, I guarantee you they'll play their number one team because you just don't walk games. Like they walked the final against the apparent second best team.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Like what a shit league.
And they're playing. They didn't even play Luke McGrath. They played Jameson Gibson Park, who's on the bench, and is a solid scrum half. But I mean, he really didn't do much in Super Rugby. I remember watching him play for the Hurricanes, and he really didn't do much. And he's literally second string to Luke McGrath at Leicester. Started the final, and somehow literally doesn't affect them at all because they're so good in every other position, basically. Like, they still played James Lowe, Henshaw, Ringrose, Lama. Backline's outrageous. That's literally the back line for Ireland.
It's literally Ireland.
And then you've got Stockdale on the other wing.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh mate, if Saracens win, like, even though even if I wasn't a Saracens fan, I just want anyone to win but Leinster. And you know what? I'd go as far to say, total in this tournament, I would rather Exeter to win, and I hate Exeter than Leinster because they're just the most. Leinster just annoying as fuck. Even though
I want to see Leinster versus Toulouse in the final.
No, I want to see Exeter, Leinster, and Exeter win. That'd be mate. That'd be. Oh,
Nah, to be fair, I would like to see Exeter in the final and lose.
Yeah.
Oh
no, I'd love to see Exeter win.
I want to see an
Saints
English team win.
Mate, Saints are on the up. I reckon they get into the final.
No.
That's it. Who's the worst team out of these 8 teams? Northampton and.
Oh, mate, Saints are on the up.
Ulster.
And Ulster. Who'd win out of those 2?
Do we see
Ulster.
a weird French win?
Oh, I'd love. I wouldn't mind it. The teams I want to win are okay. I don't want Racing.
Anyone but Leinster.
Anyone but Leinster. That's like the paramount importance.
I want Leinster to win.
That's the paramount importance is Leinster don't win. And then next down, I would like to see Toulouse win, and I'd like to see Exeter win. Oh, God, I don't think I'd ever say that in my life. And then the next tier down, no, obviously Saracens. I'd love to see Saracens win, and I would not want to see Claremont, Racing, or Ulster won't win anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Awesome. Well, I think we were going to have a little bit of a chat about the Champions Cup, but I do believe we've now been talking for Challenge Cup, sorry. Where we have some quite big teams playing there, including Leicester, who are on the down, really. But unfortunately, I feel like we might have run out of time a little bit. So thank you very much for listening to our podcast, Much Ado About Rugby. Make sure you go and follow both the Instagram and the Facebook pages, which are labeled the same as the podcast, obviously. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very easy to find, would it? Yeah, make sure you go and follow them, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for listening.